Thanks for listening to that great Manc pod. Please do us a massive favour and subscribe to this podcast. And if you can, leave us a review on iTunes. Both are a massive help, enabling us to promote the people and the great causes we champion to a much bigger audience. If you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Twitter at Great Manc Pod and drop us a DM. Cheers.
You're listening to That Great Manc Pod, Greater Manchester's community podcast. Top one, our kid.
And what you guys do.
Okay, yeah. My name's Caroline Gleaves, and I came to work in Trafford in 1999 because I wanted to get more into youth work. I wanted more opportunities to do youth work. And I was working at a theatre at the time, and wanted a youth work qualification. Somebody recommended that I talk to Trafford. Didn't even know it existed, like we've just been saying. And I was invited to come and do some sessions at Gorse Hill Studios, which was Gorse Hill Youth Centre at the time. Yeah. And so I worked there from 1999, first part-time, and then taking on a full-time role, probably 2008, something like that, maybe a bit earlier. And I've been there ever since. And I got made redundant as a youth worker in 2015. So we were going to close Gorse Hill down. So we approached the council, tried to write a business plan, and cobbled some ideas together and carried on, basically. So we've been doing that now. It'll be 7 years on the 18th of June. Wow. So we've dipped our toe into the charity sector. So all that, what you say about charities not working together and partnerships and that, I'm learning that.
Me too, mate.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm new to this. Madness.
It is. It
really
is
absolute madness, and I'll never understand it. And I've worked with some right characters, some horrible people in all sorts of industries.
Yeah.
But even the most selfish ones would see that there's a benefit.
Yeah.
To get, putting your heads together. But it's a strange one, mate. What theatre did you work at, by the way?
I worked at the Octagon Theatre in Bolton.
Oh, I like the Octagon.
Yeah.
One of the good ones.
Yes, definitely. So I worked there for a long time, and then decided that I'd like to go down the youth work or get some more understanding of youth work. And I just thought, try it out at Gorse Hill. So I did, and just stayed there. Just really enjoyed the challenge. Some great people, some great young people, and just never stopped evolving, really. Learning about youth work, learning about the youth work sector, just trying to support young people that are not fitting in to that sort of square peg round hole, knowing that getting them to get creative, get singing, get acting, get drawing, all those different things could make such a difference. So that's what I've been doing, and what we've got an amazing team of youth workers, teachers, artists, mentors, young people that we work from, and Gorse Hill's got a big place in my heart now. So
good community. It's a great community, Gorse Hill.
Amazing community.
A real mix, isn't it? Real mix. I've always liked it. Did you ever go in the Gorse Hill pub?
Yeah. We've had a few Christmas do's in there.
Remember, and this is slightly going off tangent, but I'm going to tell it anyway because that's what I do. That when I've been living in Stretford for quite a while, and I thought, I'm going to go in the Gorse Hill. Oh, it was the funniest thing ever, because literally every single person in the pub stopped what they were doing.
Yeah,
looked at me when I came in, and obviously thinking, "Who's he? What's he doing? What's it?" It was funny, but just a really friend. After that, after they realised I wasn't undercover. It's great. Some great characters and great communities and helping each other out. And there's always things that you see with people trying to raise money for this, trying to do this, trying to get that together, and you don't really see that as overtly in a lot of the places that we go to.
Yeah.
It's a really good community.
It is. And it's kind of like, it's a bit of a cold spot at the moment because you've got all the money and investment ploughing into Stretford realm, and all the people that really want to live in Charlton but don't quite be able to make it, so they live in Stretford. Yeah.
Southwest Charlton, as they call it. Yeah.
So it's all that going on in Stretford Public Hall, all those amazing projects that are happening down there. And then you've got the investment going in around the town hall, Trafford Town Hall area. So Gorse is always that densely populated, like really vibrant, but quite a cold spot. And there's, we've got no community venue apart from Gorse Hill in that area. A lot of things have left the area, like, the things that have come are like the big corporate shops, like Tesco and like Lidl, but there's nothing community wise. So, yeah.
You've got the big, is it the AA or the RAC that are around there?
Yes, that's at the back of us. Yeah.
Did they muck in with the community?
Yeah, they do actually. I think they do have like, well, I say that they did, but like any of those sort of call centre places, the majority, they're not in the office now, are they? That community of workers isn't there because a majority of them working from home now. And but in the past year, they've done the co-op on Taylor's Road. That's like, that's got quite a lot of support. The co-op supports the area. You've got gorgeous Gorse Hill doing amazing stuff around the area, just bringing a bit of life into the odd patch of grass or artwork. Just made such a difference. So, and the school's great. The schools in the area are brilliant as well. It's got a lot of positives.
What about the council?
What about them?
Yeah. You've answered my question.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not to try and catch anyone out. We're quite open in terms of sport we get, sport we don't get, and sometimes a lot of the times they have a reason for it, and fine, all right, you have to go somewhere else and do it. Generally, Trafford have been good with us.
Yeah. I think obviously, like everybody, they've gone through a lot of change. Yeah. I think they're there. I think people also forget that they can be talked to, that, it's that, they are the council, but it's like, who do you talk to in the council and who do you get support from? Great point. Sometimes that depends on who picks the phone up or have you got that right email. Kate Green, the MP's really been supportive of us. But,
same here.
Always amazing. Just got a lot of time for that lady. And local councillors that we've got, Councillor Cordingley, Councillor Walsh, all brilliant, always, whenever there's any sort of local issue or anything, I know that they're going to get onto it or they're going to try and find a solution or support us in any way. So I don't feel like we're isolated at all. I think that it's just finding the people with the capacity and the, to be able to help us. And also sometimes you've got to tell them that you're suffering or that this isn't working. They're not mind readers, are they, I suppose? So
honestly, great points. Yeah. It's right. I mean, most people are decent.
Yeah.
Well, most people are decent. It's yourselves, and I mean, we've worked we did the festival in Trafford. We're doing these podcasts. We're discovering more and more groups and more great people along the way. But yourselves and OT Creative, for me, are two of the ones that are creating that identity for the borough. It's Gorse Hill Studios and OT Creative are doing loads of stuff out in the community. They're showing the best of the boroughs. They show, they're giving people opportunities. And we're developing another project at the moment. And also the councils, the GMCA and all that are getting onto this now, that they need you. It's organisations like yourself and like OT Creative that have forged the way for a long time, and now they're talking about community wealth, economic regeneration using culture, but tapping into that local narrative. Now, for me, that's what you guys have been doing forever.
Yeah.
And so I think your voice, if used proper And that's why we're doing these podcasts and, using social media better and things like that. You've got a key role there. And it's a massive opportunity for you. You know what I mean? And us, we're tapping into all that. We're doing the best we can to go and change the agenda and, getting people's voices heard. But it's like you said quite rightly, you've got to go and tell them. No point sitting back and whinging.
No, you can't do that. Can't play the victim. You can't. It's doesn't do anybody any favors, and it's a hard pill to swallow. That, but like when people say, well, this, and that, you have to say, well, what have you done about it? What can you do about it? And a lot of people are like making the transition from a council organisation, like a council project, to a charity without that infrastructure was really, really scary. And and when you look back, you think not quite sure how we got this far, but you just do, don't you? You lose those rabbit in a headlight sort of eyes, and your light dulls a little bit, but you're getting on with it, and you're learning every day. But it's just people tell us like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's what, and a lot of the time it's you need to get your social media, you need to get your name out there, and sometimes you're doing the stuff that you forget about that. You forget that, to do that. So for me as an older person, I have to rely on the younger staff and the young people to say, right, how do we shout about this? How do we navigate this social media thing? How do we, get those positive stories out? And it is just finding ways in it to tell stories and get some interest. But I know when we do it, it makes such a difference, because it's, you get to places you didn't expect to, or your project becomes so much richer, and all the different people you can then have around you that make you stronger as well. So
and it's all positive stuff.
We just see it as another form of what you already do, because what you do, and I mean, I'm going to ask you a bit more about what projects you do and things, through art, through music, through writing, creative writing, through drama. It's all storytelling, all of those things are storytelling. So you're already doing it.
Yeah. And
that's all that social media is, and podcasts and things like that, is taking that art and telling your stories in another format. Yeah. So you're actually that transition, and don't say you're an old person, because you're not as old as me and him, and we've got our head around it.
I'm older.
But that's all it is. If people think it's digital or it's social media is scary, and there is a lot of negative. There is a lot of toxicity, and you've got to be careful. But it can also be used in the right way, and to bring hope and inspiration to people, which is what we try and do. Yeah. You're always going to get slagged off. You're always going to get people jumping on the thing, and whatever you do is the wrong thing. So what? Just ignore and block them. It's not a democracy. Yeah. You know what I mean? We don't have to listen to these idiots. You just, whatever, move on. You guys are doing great things, and you sing about it, shout about it. And if you need help developing that strategy, or making short films or anything like that, let us know, and we'll collaborate with you. Yeah. If you want to take over the podcast for a few sessions, do it. We'll come and show you how to do it.
That sounds a brilliant idea. Yeah, there's some of our young people be well up for that. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, Trafford Carer Centre said they'd be interested too. So, this is the basis of, we can do it anyway. Yeah. But on that journey that you've said about the going from a grant dependent, that you're a council-run organisation, to an independent sort of charity. With the other hat on, I do a lot of consultancy, so project development and setting up charities and funding bids and stuff. There's that many organisations that I've helped that transition, and still doing. There's a few now that are local community centres that are now changed to charity status, and it's scary for them initially. But then when you go in and say you're doing great stuff, it's not that scary. Plus, you gain your independence. Then you're not having to tick their boxes.
Yeah, that's true. It is. It's weighing that up, because there's so many things that we can do straight away. And even when we talk to some people from bigger organizations, we're not about sort of growth, we're more about making the services that we deliver the best they can be. And I think that's what we're concentrating on for the next few years, really, to the quality of what we can deliver. It's having to react to need a bit more quicker. So when you were in the council or working that sort of red tape and having to get that passed or whatever, one thing I really, really enjoyed and is making the difference when we see a need and we can act upon it, and we don't have to wait for X, Y, and Z to be put in place before. Again, also the flip side is that it's higher risk, isn't it? So you've got to think about the risk and stuff. But if you work hard on the infrastructure of your organisation, and learn when things go wrong, and they have like massively gone wrong, and you just got to pick yourself up and go, right, what do we need to do to make that not happen again? Or to stop that happening. So
there's no there's no development without risk, and that's the same with the people that you work with, as well as the organisation in a way. And it is hard getting that balance of making sure you're sustainable, but also, sack it, we'll try it. If it falls, me and Paul have done it loads of times and we'll carry on doing it. We don't care. If we'd rather try it and it fail.
Absolutely,
than not try it if somebody's identified a need out there that they go, I mean, we call people out all the time and they go, oh, we've always wanted to do it. Well, come on then, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We might not have a clue how to do it, but we'll find a way to make it happen. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think that's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned, really, is that, like, you've just got to make it happen. And if there's someone that wants it, or a young person wants to do certain things, or you can feel that need growing and you think, oh, someone's got an idea, it's just to see it actually happen, whether it happens brilliantly or not, it just actually happen is brilliant. So
plus you've got to prove that you can do it. You've got to prove that you can do it. And maybe, it's not just a Manc thing, but I think it's a northern thing where it's like, okay, you're telling me that this needs to be done and I can kind of see it, but, I need more than that. And you got to be willing to go, all right, well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
And then if you go back to them, we've done that loads of times, we've gone back to them and they've gone, yeah, well, still not giving you the money. But at least you've got something there that you can take to somebody else. And we get called out as much as we do it and say, right, okay, we'll show you. It happens the other way around. It happens the other way around as well. But I just love the whole attitude of no, it wasn't easy doing what you're doing, but life ain't easy.
No, definitely not.
But look at the benefits of especially for the kids in the community. Can like Damien was saying, can you tell us some of the projects that you've worked on or you're working on or anything? These podcasts are supposed to be, if you're doing them, like, evergreen. So if someone listens to this in 5 years' time, it's still relevant. I don't care about that. Right. So we're going to put these out as soon as we get them edited. So anything that you're looking for existing projects, anything like that, bang it in.
Brilliant.
But just tell us what you're doing and what something that you've done that you're really, really proud of as well. Okay.
Well, so the organisation set up from a youth work, from the youth work department in Trafford Council. So, and the building itself was an old school. The building's really important to us because it's our base. It's and perhaps you'll know, Damien, when you've been doing your consultancy work, like when you start to look at that business model, they say, well, can you survive without the building? What is the building? And I think we've toyed with that a lot of the time, but because of where we are, because of working with young people, and one of our sort of big aims is to support young people who are growing up in the care system or open to social care. So that's like this, the thing. If we were a stick of rock, that's in the middle of us, really. So we've got the Care Leavers Forum. We do the My World Youth Club, which is a youth club on a Sunday for young people that are in the care system and their friends. But it's just, we want to be that place where people know they feel safe, they can be creative, they can try out things that it's just somewhere to go and belong to, because that's... when
are you open on a Sunday? Is that all day?
No, at the moment. Well, we're open. Well, what I'm really, really proud of is that we are open 7 days a week now. So there's something going on every day of the week, and we hire this. Our business model is that we deliver alternative creative education. So every day we have about 9 young people who come from sort of 10 till 3, and they have a bespoke learning package, support package. So we're not a school. We can provide maths and English, but it's all around the arts, personal development, sports, you name it, what they want to do, hairdressing, cooking. And it's just to support them to get back into school or to back into college or get back into learning or feel confident enough or, sort out their issues they've got, or try and get them to have a better relationship with adults or, their peers, those sort of things. So that's what we do during the day. Alongside that, we rent out the space, but we only rent out to like-for-like organisations or people that we know that we could perhaps work with, potential partners. So we've got Proud and Loud Theatre Company, we've got the Performers Playground, we share the building with Trafford Domestic Abuse Service. We've got some amazing organisations that we're lucky enough to call our partners, really. And
that's
in
a
the
proper
true
hub.
That's
a proper hub, isn't it?
Yeah. In the true sense of the word. So if somebody approaches and they want to try out something like Rajiv Gupta's works for the BBC, but was on our board for a time. He does Bhangra size, so it's like Bollywood dancing exercise class. That's been going for the last 7 years. It's just growing from strength to strength. So that's on a Tuesday. We've had Irish dancers in. We've got a young person who's running her own dance company called Energy Dance. So she was a young person that came when she was 11, 12, and she's now in her 20s running her own dance company. So it's that transition, that pathway, that support that we want to do. So our 4 areas of work are the education and learning. So anything we can do to support learning, but not learning in sort of in a traditional formal sense. It can be learning, anything that people want to learn, really, from origami to learning how to paint.
Same as us. Don't care what it is, as long as it works.
I always call it. I say we work on stealth health and stealth learning. So it's like, we won't start a session and go, in this session, you're going to learn teamwork, bonding, and it's at the end. I'll say, do you not realise you've worked as a team? These are transferable skills. These are, stuff you can stick on your CV. But they've had a good time doing what they're doing. You've just then brought it out at the end and gone, do you not realise? And that, to me, is you get big smiles on faces rather than killing the room and the energy by writing it all on a flip chart at the start. You know what I mean?
I'm quite visual, but I'm not like flip chart mad. I'm not in presentation mad. I could perhaps talk. I could talk, you could talk, but not necessarily put it up there on a posh PowerPoint. So the other 3 areas that we do is youth voice. So we've got the Care Leavers Forum, Trafford Youth Cabinet, we've got our board, we've got the UCAN mentors, we've been doing some work in schools around county lines. So we use all the skills we've got to try and inform and raise awareness of things that a lot of young people wouldn't understand what's happening, to a friend or to themselves or whatever, targeting sort of exploitation areas. Then we do our 3rd strand is SEND, which is special educational needs. So Saturdays and Sundays we work with Sportworks, delivering short break activities. So just come and have a go activities. So we've got Saturday challenge workshops. We've got youth clubs on a Tuesday. We've got an amazing new youth club called Good Vibes Only. That's being
Love that.
Yeah, it's
me and him couldn't go to that.
Yeah, we're trying to get one of those, those light up signs, but I didn't realize how expensive they were. When they write like the word, it's like a neon, it lights up.
Yeah.
So
I've got a contact for that.
Oh well, I'll have that off you.
I think they're still going, but yeah, that would look at, because I know the building. I drive past it.
Yeah.
Virtually every day. It's on the main road. Isn't it?
Sorry.
How much had it?
Well, we've been quoted about, I don't know. It's over 500 quid. We just want one for the kitchen wall to put on there. So anyway, we're looking around for that. But that particular group of young lads and a young girl are supported by a local parent who is just trying to literally keep an amazing bunch of lads sort of being able to hang out together, really. And they do a bit of basketball. We've got Foz, who's the lead singer of Jade Assembly, who comes down and does guitar work with them. So yeah, just that's a new project, but it's dead exciting because we've had 2 years of not having sort of groups in, really. We've had to do it, more one-to-one stuff, more stuff online. So this is really exciting group of young lads that are from the local community that just want to hang out. The reason was we were up at Stretford Market, the Makers Market, and someone threw a firework. And the majority of these lads were nothing to do with that. It was just this one individual. So we're just trying to say, like, good vibes only. If you come to this group, it's about just hanging out and having a good time, having a laugh, like going. So they went climbing last week for half term, just like tapping into the things,
Yeah, but you've set your stall out straight off there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And again, I've done youth projects in the past and all that sort of stuff. And people go, how do you get these to work? I said, give them ownership.
Yeah, absolutely.
They won't screw up what they've built.
Yeah,
it's not hard. Ask them what they need. Ask them, have that conversation. But set your stall out, as long as you say. And good vibes only. It's straight there on a big sign saying,
they came up with that. So it's and then I've talked about creative engagement. So that's kind of the music studio, the dance, the visual arts, with the drama groups, anything. We've done a lot of pottery stuff over the last couple of years, just trying out different things, really. Graffiti, we've got a few young people quite interested in making their own videos, with the music. So it's just trying to find local people, artists, anyone that wants to come and with the youth work support as well, we can make it happen. So
bloody hell,
that's us.
Is there anything else you're doing?
What are we doing? Do we need to do more? We need to do more?
There's loads of things there that I've just, as you were talking, I mean, it's the best thing that you said in all of that, even though you said a lot of good stuff, was when you said, and their friends for me. Now, I've worked in loads of places, prisons, on the street with the homeless, all sorts of stuff. And what was missing in all the projects is you take that person out of their peer group, whether it's family or whether it's friends or whatever region, and they go try and fix them and then put them back.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you invited them? It's
part of
if you're working with an individual and you've identified that need, what you do is you work with their family and friends as well. Yeah. Because number one, they all get it then, and they've been on that journey together. But also, you don't know out of that group who else are having issues that they'll suddenly say, we need some help as well, because you've made it welcoming, you've invited them in,
But it's
you get the full picture then, don't you? You get you can get to the bottom of what's going on a bit quicker, and also there's a reason those people are in their lives, isn't there? So you can kind of work it out, help them that way. Yeah.
Well, when you're younger, your mates in a lot of cases are more important, and you see more of them than what you do your family.
Yeah.
You know, so splitting them up doesn't make any sense.
No.
And you're right. And whether this goes in or not, you know, we'll see. But I mean, my attitude is like you were saying before about good vibes only. I'm a big believer in, you know, just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
You know, and saying that to whoever is like, if you really want this, if you really, I mean, we don't bend over. If we're putting something on, we want people to get involved. There's no bend. I mean, we couldn't bend over backwards if we tried. But there's none of that, you know, we really, really desperately want you to get involved. It's kind of like, well, if you want to get involved, great, let's do it. If you don't, fine, we'll find someone else. And there's got to be that kind of degree of...
Well, that invite's always there for the future, so you never shut the door on someone. You know, the offer's there. If you want to get involved now, please do. But don't go away and think, oh, I should have done it. Come back to us, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I want, like I say, not chasing somebody, but just saying, look, we're always here. If you've got an idea or you change your mind or something happens in your life, just knock on, you know. And I think that's a really key thing. So, Paul, what you're saying there, if they get the sign that says good vibes only, we get one luminous saying, don't be a dick by Manc Spirit.
Yeah, I've got the T-shirts. But I mean, in terms of the podcasts, I think there's a whole. I mean, good stories. It's all about good stories and positive stories if we can get them out there. And I know not every story can be massively positive, but it's great to show to have the people who are involved in various situations to say how they've changed, how they've found it, how it's worked for them, rather than have any day of the week, rather than have someone like, you know, me and Damien talking about it, because who cares? You know, the really powerful stuff is coming from the kids directly. But also, if they want a bit of fun, you know, whatever ideas they've got in terms of podcasts that they may well be interested in, what we can, like Damien says, you know, we've got a platform here, and we've got a production company anyway, and we've got various things that we do. But the podcast, more or less anything you want to do, we can let them try it, and we can put it out there, and it's something that they can show to potential investors or whatever, and say, listen, we did this, we did a few episodes on the Great Manc Pod about this, and they can show and also tell the mates. You know what they're doing. So whatever. And it's not a problem for us to come in and have a chat and get some ideas of what they want to do. If they want to do it.
There's loads. There's a few things I'm thinking of, but I'm going to come back to you. That we're doing some, we've got a project with Hong Kong British nationals that we're looking to start ASAP. But also some stuff around young women's mental health as well, but from a different perspective. But in a podcast sense, that would be amazing, I think. Yeah.
Well, Caroline, there's a lot of things you said. One thing that we have got access to is a lot of established creatives.
Yeah.
So there's whatever you need, whether it's artists, whether it's spoken word, whether it's music, whatever. Then we can access that. We can definitely sort that out with you.
Sorry,
the
mate.
Youth Voice. How many people are on your Youth Voice committee thing?
There's probably about 7 at the moment. That it fluctuates in and out. We try and meet sort of every other month for that one. But the Care Leavers Forum, they would be amazing to do a podcast with. So their experience of sort of care, but I mean, we could work on that. We could work on like what it was they wanted to say and how they wanted to say it and what have you. But that group do so much youth voice stuff for like the council, for other care leavers, you know, advocacy stuff. And they've all got some great, just they're a breath of fresh air, but also just how their stories, if they're up for, you know, I know a couple of them would be up for sharing their stories of overcoming adversity and, you know, because they're proud of themselves and they should be. But there's quite a few that would, I think it'd be quite an interesting podcast to put together that. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what would be, and I was only speaking about this yesterday with regards to the Hong Kong British nationals. Certainly in Trafford, there's a huge amount of people that have come over from Hong Kong in the last 6 months. You know, we had a couple that bought my mother-in-law's house, and 2 or 3 family friends living in the area that who've moved on, and people, Hong Kong based families have moved in. You see, you know, Sainsbury's in Sale. You know, there's a huge amount of stories there, and not all, you know, the traumas of getting over here, and that's part of it. But there's a huge cultural potential there, that's needed right now. So absolutely, we could look at that. And in terms of young women's mental well-being, or women's mental well-being, full stop, absolutely, 100%. We're behind that. We did a short film last year called The Runner, which is based on and I'll send you through the details. And it's a 15-minute short film, and that's based on a young woman who's a runner, and she's running to the extent that it starts impacting on her body. Amarinia, it's called, which I'd never heard of before. And this is 2 blokes who developed this film, but it was just like a story of, because there was a lot of people really pushing themselves during lockdown, and that can affect, you know, your ability to have babies and so on and so forth. And it's not it's not something that people know about.
No.
You know, they do now to an extent, because we made this. So, but that also allowed us to, you know, we had a write that was written by somebody who was from the Wigan Festival, James, who was a writer who wasn't a really good writer. He had that script. We basically said to him, listen, you know, don't whinge about what's not happening. Send us what you've got. He did. It was great, and we made it. So there's the potential of that as well. If you've got, and you will have, young people there who are writing things, who want to get the messages across. There are different formats that we can look at to getting those out there. You know, I've got to be honest, on some of it, they've got to be good. You know, to put stuff out there.
Absolutely,
because if people don't listen to it, what's the point?
Yeah, totally.
You know, so everything that we do on that is professional.
Yeah.
Because it's great for the people involved. But you know, they want to have value in it at the end of the day. They don't want to say, I just did it.
It's like you said it earlier, Caroline, it's developing it, you know, focusing on the quality.
Yeah, totally.
Any of us I mean, the 10 a penny workshops out there, but what's the individual gaining out of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we say that you've got to challenge people, you've got to push them. Yeah. You've got to get them out of the comfort zone, because that's the risk element that actually produces results.
Yeah.
You know, so we're firm believers in that. I see it far too much, especially within the homeless sector, where it was like people are just trapped. Yeah. Where's the move on? Where's the encouragement? Where's the you're not challenging people to sort of do more, you know, and they've got it to share. They've got all those skills.
Yeah.
Well, can we come in at some point?
Yeah, definitely.
And have a chat. I mean, you can obviously go back and feedback what we've talked about today, but I'd love to, you know, for us, it's all about, or a big thing for us, full stop, but certainly from the festivals, is to have what we class as legacy projects, which is just big, but, you know, another way of saying people that we still want to work with. Yeah. Quite honestly. Yeah. In whatever way we can. And I know, I'm sure I'm speaking for Damien here as well, is that we'd love to do. I just love everything that you're doing, because I don't think there's anything you're not doing.
Well, I'll have this conversation with you now. I'm not bothered. If we called this episode "Good Vibes Only," could we? I'll have a look at the finances and see if there's a joint project we could work on that would buy the sign.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah. Honestly, it was in the summer. Beginning of the year, and then. She's an artist, the mum that works with us, Anthea, she won't mind me saying her name, and she lived in Gorse. She's brought 3 lads up, amazing young lads, and her youngest is still at Stretford High, but her energy and everything about her is just amazing. But she's like, oh right, I'm gonna put this, you know, this group together, and we was like, well, we've got the space, do it with us. And so she works for us, but she also is a mum and a local resident, and she's got an allotment, so she's it'd be brilliant to do her story, or
Yeah, I'll just. I mean, we're part of the GMCA culture portfolio. We're the only one based in Trafford.
Oh yeah. I can
now
imagine.
That contract will come up again in September. So again, we'll be putting a bid in, but we'd be looking for partners to try and give everybody else a chance as well.
That'd be brilliant. Oh yeah. Well, we're just having a new music studio built. So the music studio that we've got was built with do you remember SRB funding, single regeneration budget funding? So it was like in the 90s. So that paid for the setup of the music studio, and a guy called Ben Roberts, who worked with somebody from the council and put this big bid in and built a music studio, which in a youth centre was back then there wasn't many. Well, there was hardly any. So that was quite. So for the last 3-4 years we've been trying to raise and get funding bids to because it's like
capital funding.
Sorry.
Power to change, stuff like that, you'll get capital.
Yeah, we just didn't quite fit into their criteria, but we've got enough funding now. So Trafford Housing Trust, Youth Music, and some CVO investment in there as well. And then we've got some money from Trafford Council as well for disability, because it's making the space more accessible.
Wow.
So with those 4 pots, we've managed to put together a seam, and Bruntwood's, their Cubic Works, are going to help us to build and do that. So we'd love to get, that's going to be launching in sort of September time. So might be a good project to get in, because we could do a podcast from there as part of the launch.
Yeah.
So just some ideas anyway.
All you need is one of them.
What's that?
Microphone.
Oh, right. Couldn't see that. So if you guys wouldn't mind coming in and talking about that with us, that would be brilliant.
Would love to.
And there'll be some if you want to do a proper event, we know some Trafford based artists, spoken word and musicians that are probably, I'm not saying they will, because we've not spoke to him, but I'm sure they come along and support that.
Yeah, that's good.
So if you need out like that, anything, if you need out, give us a shout.
Right, we definitely will. We've made a connection now.
If we can't do it, we'll try and find who can. And if we can't find who can, we'll make it happen some way, no matter what. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
brilliant.
If you like I said, if you can go back and speak to the, I said the kids, because I'm the dad of the kids, that's, and see if they want us to come in and have a chat with them, we'll do that. We'll put this together. We'll get it out, and hopefully,
Are you guys Manc Spirit? Is that who you guys are? Like,
Manc Spirit is the charity.
Yeah,
which is co-founded by Damien and myself. I also run Manc Made, which is all about promoting creative talent across Greater Manchester, and Manc Made Productions in that as well. So I'm sure we can chat about also, just different platforms to give people opportunities to show what they can do.
I'm a director for Community Futures Trust, so that's where we do the capacity building.
Right, excellent.
Funding, stuff like that. So I'll do that right across.
Yeah.
The north. So again, there's a big mix of skills and networks.
Yeah, there definitely is. That's amazing.
So if you need help, we probably know somebody. If it's not us that can do it, we know somebody that can usually.
All right, we've kept you for long enough.
Right.
Now.
Thank you.
So thank you, Caroline.
Caroline, send me the details of that sign.
Yeah, I will do. Well, Damien, you're not related to the Carpasti family, are you? No.
I'm just fat. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because we've
got you've ate a shitload of pasties.
No, because we've got Cars
It's going so well.
Cars pasties involved. Have you never had a Cars pasty?
Yeah, of course I have. Because I used to be a union official for civil service, and I used to spend a lot of time in Bolton, and it's next to the tax office. Well,
no, that's Ye Old Pasties you're thinking of.
Is that not the same one?
No, that's Ye Old Pasties. So
near the Old Manor Save.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, they're pretty famous as well.
Other pasties are available.
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah. Well, I listened to the podcast with Sophie Willan, the comedian, the actress who did the Alma story.
Yeah.
And they asked her which was her favourite, and she said, I couldn't possibly say whether it's yield or cars. That was funny.
Who's your favourite kid?
That was the pasty shop. So you're saying there's another pasty establishment?
Yeah, there's another one.
Right.
Well, this is definitely taking a turn on a tangent, this now.
Yeah, sorry.
Pasties of the world.
See you later.
Take care.
I'm having for lunch
Bye.
anyway. See you later. Thanks for listening to That Great Manc Pod. Please do us a massive favour and subscribe to this podcast. And if you can, leave us a review on iTunes. Both are a massive help, enabling us to promote the people and the great causes we champion to a much bigger audience. If you want to get in touch, give us a follow on Twitter at Great Manc Pod and drop us a DM. Cheers.
You're listening to That Great Manc Pod, Greater Manchester's community podcast. Top one, Arky.